Hello, revolutionaries, and welcome to your Human Design Basics. So, Raquel Reyna here. You are receiving this video if you are a member of my community. And I am going to do a basic overview of how to understand your chart. So I'm going to go ahead and dive right in and start from the beginning. Okay, hold on a second. There we go. So in this quick video, I want to just give you the human design basics. I want to help you to understand how to read your chart, where to look for the gates and the channels, and how to understand if you're defined or undefined in a specific center, where to find your profile, and where to find your assimilation type, also known as your definition. So let's go ahead and analyze a chart right here. So basically, when you get your chart, either from Jovian or if you are sending me your information, I'm going to pull up a chart that's going to have a overview of the information up top here, and then it's going to have a picture of the information here. So let me go through each area. The type, I am a projector. We have 4 types. You're either going to be a projector, a generator, a manifester, or a reflector. If you are a manifesting generator, you're basically a subset of a generator. So you're a type of generator. Your profile, which you see right here, it says 5-1. The profile is found here on the chart. It is, you can see here where it has a 0.5 and a 0.1. It's written the black and then the red. So you have the 5 and the 1. So that's where you can find your profile. And it will be 1 through 6. And each line number has a specific meaning. You'll see that all of these numbers have a 0.1 through 6. And I'll explain to you what that means in just one second. The definition you'll find right here. This is either going to be a single, a split definition, triple split definition, and in rare occasions you might see quadruple split. And basically what that means is that your wiring, your inner wiring is, for me, I'm a single definition. This is my chart, by the way. And you can see that all of my definition is in one place. So all of my wiring communicates to each other and it creates a single definition. For those people who may have definition here, but they're not connected, so there's no wiring or channel, as we call it, that connects, you're going to have a split. And that's where you would find this right here, split definition. Your inner authority is how you make decisions. So once you learn what your inner authority is, you do want to take on the experiment of living your life by design, meaning experimenting with making decisions only based on your inner authority. Once you do that, you can understand whether this information actually works or not. It's not an intellectual form, it's an experiential teaching, which means that you need to experiment with the knowledge, you need to integrate it for yourself, and you need to find out how it works for you. We don't want to tell you something and have you blindly believe it. We want you to experiment with it and see if it works in your life. That's the real true test of any great teaching. So for me, my inner authority is splenic. That's in the moment. It's beyond thought, and it's a way of making decisions based on how my spleen operates. And other people might be sacral definition here. Your inner authority might be sacral. It might be emotional. It might be mental, or they might call it no authority. That'll oftentimes be for projectors or manifestors, and also for reflectors who have no authority. The strategy is what we call your success code. It's the primary strategy for your life. Integrating this strategy into your business is a game changer. And again, you have to experiment with it. For me, the strategy is to wait for the invitation, which also means waiting to be recognized. For most generators, or for all generators, the strategy is to wait to respond. If you are a manifestor, your strategy will be to inform. And if you are a reflector, it's going to be to wait a full cycle before you make a decision. So the strategy is how you want to integrate this information into your life. The not self theme is what you notice when you're not living your design. So for the generator, they're going to feel frustration, the manifestor will feel anger, and the projector will feel bitterness, the reflector will feel disappointment. Okay, and so this shows you when you're off track. You haven't been waiting for the invitation, you're going to get bitter. The incarnation cross is made up of these 4 gates, 61, 62, 50, and 3. You find these here in the first 4 numbers. This is the 61, 62, the 50, and the 3. It also brings me to the understanding of what these numbers are here, and why these are in black and why these are in red. So basically, the black is your personality, and we can also refer to this as what you are conscious of, or who you think you are. The red is often the part of you that eludes you. It's unconscious. As a matter of fact, sometimes when you hear these numbers or in your explanation in your chart, you're like, that doesn't sound like me, or that doesn't resonate. And it's oftentimes because it's unconscious. Over here, these symbols represent the astrological forces. So you're going to notice that even though you get a description of the gate, when you go and look a little bit deeper, you'll notice that the astrological forces have an influence on the gate as well. Now, to break this down a little bit further, you'll notice that these numbers here are not different than what is found in the actual picture. Okay, so each one of these half lines are what we call gates. And so you'll notice that this 61, 62, you'll see that here, even though this might be a little bit hard to read, this is the gate, and that's why it shows up here, 61. The gate, 62, shows up here, 62. So all of these gates are listed either where you're conscious or whether you're unconscious, but these numbers are the same as what appears in your chart. Now, when 2 gates come together, so for example, my gate 25, and you'll see let's see here, you'll notice that my gate 25 right here is in the south node. You'll see that it comes together with my gate 51, which is, you'll see that right here. And this creates a channel. So the channel is basically when 2 gates create a connection between the centers, and you'll notice it as a full line all the way across two centers. And the difference between a gate and a channel is simply that this is your life force. This is what is consistent in your life, and you really will only notice the channels when you start really studying and implementing this in your life. You'll start noticing how these impact you. And for me, the channels, because projectors are actually here to be known for their channels, they impact my life in very extreme ways. Now, one of the things I teach you in my Rev Biz program, if you're a member of the Rev Biz program, is that when you're contemplating your purpose-produced program, you're contemplating how you want to present your material, your work, and your business to the world. I ask you to contemplate your incarnation cross, which makes up 70% of who you are. It's your conscious earth and your conscious sun, and your sun and your earth. And I also ask you to contemplate your Mercury, which is, let's see, wait, which one here? This one here is your Mercury. This little symbol here is your Mercury, and that's what you're here to communicate. However, as a projector, you are here to be known for your channels, meaning when we ask a projector to wait for the invitation, we're asking you to be recognized before you speak. This process is very intense for a projector. We don't know who recognizes us oftentimes, especially if you're someone like me with a 5-1 profile type. So we look at those people who see us for our channels. So for me, the 2551 is the shamanic channel. It's the shock channel. It's the initiation. It's bringing forth the awakening to the tribe, the mutation of the tribe. The 2644 is about sales and really understanding, for me, it's the integrity of sales. And it's about understanding how to present this material in a way that changes the tribe. That's, for me, that's my interpretation. And that's what I'm here to be known for. And so these channels have had a great influence on me and have affected my program, my purpose-produced program, which is the name I came up with the first program, which was the initiation. The Rev Biz is the Revolutionary Spiritualized Biz program, which basically is combining the tools of business and this shock of revolution, as well as mutation, and bringing business forward in a new way. So obviously, when you're doing your business, a lot of different things about the chart are going to pop and are going to inspire your program. Those are the areas I ask you to contemplate, because those will have an impact, but they're not the only things that are going to have an impact. There are many other aspects that are going to have an impact as well. So I just wanted to bring this up a little bit closer to show you guys the picture of your chart, and to talk about these centers. The centers are kind of these, the triangle, the square, this diamond shape. These are similar to the chakra system. In Human Design, we tell you that I should say in Human Design, they believe that we've evolved from the 7th center being to the 9th center being. And this is a process of human evolution. We're moving through our next stage of human evolution in the next 10 years, which these centers will shift again. But where you find, if you're open, this will be white. Where you're defined, this will be colored in. Okay, so this, for me, this is an undefined head center. This is an undefined ajna. This is the throat. This here is undefined. I have a defined G center, which is colored in yellow for every single person who's defined. This is the ego or the heart center. For me, it's colored in red. This is the solar plexus, which is the emotional area. This is undefined for me. This is the sacral. This is undefined here. If it's red, this means that you're going to be a generator and that it's defined. This is the spleen, which is defined for me. And here is the root. You'll notice that I have absolutely no gates off of my root. There's no hanging gate here. These little lines, as we talked about, they come from these numbers. I have nothing, which means that my root is completely open. So when people are referring to openness, where there's no definition at all, you'll see an open center with no definition. Okay, so I've covered your personality. This is what you're conscious, your unconscious, which is your in red, and then these gates, which you'll see hanging off of a number. The number is also found on these columns. The astrological influences you see down the sides, which you'll see those are the symbols, the astrological symbols. And then the channels are when two gates make up an entire line across a center. Your open and defined centers are whether they are white or colored in. Okay, so that's going to give you a basis for how to understand where you're getting your numbers and where to check your strategy, where to check your authority, and kind of gives you a basic of how to look at your chart. All right, everyone, I will see you in our Facebook group and in class. Have a great day.